And good morning. Promises kept barely because it was a hard line getting on the air today. My name is John, also known as Jay Cleveland Payne, and this is things you might not have heard for Tuesday, November the 29th, 2022. What we're going to provide for you in the next 15 minutes or so are 8 news stories from the past 30 hours that you deem pretty conversational. So we put them together and we're giving you some things to talk about on your way into work or getting into work or something you can throw at somebody that has a sharp barb for certain people. Now, I'm going to have to do a bit of a mea culpa right now and talk about some past stories I did for the weekend, dealing with the Thanksgiving parade and Leah Michelle. Basically, I kind of got beaten up by some of you guys in comments saying, please stop beating up on Leah Michelle. And I'm going to do that for the moment. And I'm going to respect that by beating up more on Candace Cameron Bure. We're going to keep beating up on her today specifically. So we'll get to that in mere moments. Check us out at thisisaconversationproject.com for more details about the work behind the Conversation Project and how you can help keep things on the air, if you will, or tear the whole thing down if that's your choice. Because apparently my Leah Michelle cracks are bringing you to the brink of torches and pitchforks, but you're watching, you're listening. That's the point. Let's get on to the story. Story number one: water boil order issued for more than 2 million in Houston. This happened on Monday or Sunday into Monday. We did not get an update on this story, so I can't tell you how things are going now, but I can tell you what happened on Monday. The water oil was issued, the water boil order, say that correctly, was issued to the residents of Houston after a purification plant had some power outages, and there was some suspicion on the actual purity of the water that was going through the city itself. They didn't lose water. They didn't lose power to getting any water, but cleaning it up, that was a different story. So most of the city of Houston, a good chunk of folks, were told to boil any water they were getting out of the tap before using it and be a bit wary of bathing in it for a day or so. It's probably fixed by now. I'm not sure. Like I said, I got no updates to the story from what we had here, but there's a water boil order. The first sign of apocalypse type stuff that we had in stories today. The second one is a big one, a doozy, and that's Hawaii's Mauna Loa volcano started erupting. Live update should have been cleared out, but yes, it started erupting on Sunday. A volcano, a pretty big, massive, pretty expansive volcano started erupting, spewing ash along the way in Hawaii. These things take time to kind of chill out, if you will. So we'll know in a few days how these things go and whether it becomes a major issue for the folks on the island or just a bit of a nuisance in this current eruption phase. Our next story: Iran demands USA are kicked out of World Cup 2022 amid anger over social media posts. This was something that got posted all sort of weekend long and didn't make any sense. And then this one came out where it actually explained what was going on and it all made sense. Now, the kicking the US out is the part that goes crazy here. But for some reason, someone on the social media side of the United States kept posting posts with the Iranian flag, listing them in the order that they're ranked. I think England was 1, Iran was 2, and US was 4 or something like that. But the flag itself, the Iranian flag, was posted without the emblem in the center. And that was their protest against what's going on in Iran. Their way of the social media team protesting by taking a flag and basically desecrating it digitally. This got a lot of heat from a lot of people. This meant a lot of people asking U.S. soccer team, hey, what's going on? Because, they're there. They're not the social media team. Nobody cares who's the social media team. They just want to know what the players on the field are thinking about this stuff. Most of them deflected fairly well, saying we're here to play soccer. We support human rights. We're not on the social media team. We're not that idiot who did that thing. Palm. Iran asking for the U.S. to be kicked out before their match today. That's not happening. It's going to happen. But further news, which we may talk about tomorrow if that gets to be bigger, is that the fact that after the silent protest that the Iranian team made on the first match coming out, there have been threats to the lives of the families of all the Iranian team members to act right and don't embarrass us out there on the public field. That's a new wrinkle to this one. This wrinkle, someone in the United States thought they were being bold and changed the flag, is stupidity. We shouldn't have did that. That person needs to be fired. There, I said it. We support Iran and the protest and going on is the rights for the Iranian people to protest and maybe gain free speech and gain some more human rights where they're living. We don't support idiots who do dumb things on social media thinking they're trying to save the world, because changing the flag is dumb. Here's one where I'm going to get some heat and I'm ready for it, so I don't care. If a Christmas present shows what Candace Cameron Bure means by tradition, she can keep it. This article is a commentary. It's from a reviewer of these type of things. It's from salon.com is where it is, done by Melanie McFarland. And she's a TV critic, so she goes in and busts out people doing bad TV. What she's saying is, although Hallmark style Christmas movies are bad TV, this one is a particularly bad one, and the message throughout it is not very good. The biggest issue with Candace Cameron Bure and her traditional families being shown in the Christmas movies is that they need to be actually entertaining, good Christmas movies. We've watched two. I say we, me and my wife have watched two Hallmark movies. I think they are not. I think one may have been new, but one was from a couple of years past as a suggestion from someone, and they've both been terrible. And they're always terrible. The first one, she kind of got a kick out of it. The second one, she agreed pretty much early, this is kind of bad. We probably should stop watching this, but I can't get away from this train wreck. That's what we're looking at with this movie here or there. I've not seen this. Like I said earlier in some tapings, I think yesterday's taping, Great American Channel or Family or whatever it's exactly called. My parents had it, and we flipped to it for about 20 minutes of a movie because my mom had it on and then watch more football. And so I'm probably not going to see this because I don't think we get this channel here. But for those who do, you've been warned, or maybe you've been given a reason to go watch it anyway. Maybe you want more traditional family stuff, and that's what you're looking for. Go watch it. But this critic says not only is it bad per, bad Christmas movie standards, it just does not make any sense. Your mileage always may vary. Buffalo grocery store mass shooter pleads guilty to terrorism and murder charges in racist attack. I'm going to open up the story to my right, your left, and read a bit from here so I have all the details. The shooter's name, of course, Peyton Gendrum, 19-year-old white man. He has pleaded guilty to one count of domestic act of terrorism motivated by hate, 10 counts of first-degree murder, 3 counts of attempted murder, and a weapons possession charge in the mass shooting in the Buffalo Friendly's grocery store from May. This may be a sigh of relief because that means the trial phase will go pretty quickly. He said he did it. Of course, that means he'll probably get a chance to say what he wants to say and manifesto it into something and try to modern himself. We will see how this plays out fairly soon, since pleading guilty speeds up all trials. Therefore, Kevin Spacey books first movie role after winning $40 million sexual battery lawsuit. Kevin Spacey's going back to work, and he's going back to work in a movie that is called I lost the thing. It's called Control, and he's going to play a voice. He's not going to be appearing in it physically. Apparently, he plays the voice of that will take over a woman's car and an intrigue in London. It's not Kit, so let's not get too crazy about this stuff. But essentially, he's kidnapping her in the car and barking out instructions. Check out the link and go deeper into the story behind the story, or just go deeper into the story behind Kevin Spacey. But now that he's won his lawsuit, now that he's not culpable of the things that he was, accused of, he gets to go back to work. Not necessarily great work, although this is a real picture, not straight to Netflix. This is a real picture that's going to be in theaters most likely, but he gets to go back to work. Bob Dylan gets to apologize for machine printed signatures. Apparently, since 2019, everything autographed by Bob Dylan has been autographed, auto-signed, pin signed by a machine. It's literally a machine that just takes a scarf and does that. He's not signed anything in mass production since 2019. This was found out recently with his new book coming out, and now he is apologizing for doing the thing. Much money had to go back to people who thought they're getting an actual signed something by Bob Dylan to get the auto pin signed stuff. We shall see how this progresses, which means Bob Dylan's gonna be sitting around, doing a lot of hand exercises as he gets cramped up, signing a lot of actual real stuff. But we will see how that plays out coming forward as well. And Megan Thee Stallion covers Forbes under 30 issue. She is the first Black woman Let's get that straight. To cover the Forbes Under 30 issue. Congratulations to Megan Thee Stallion. You may not like her music, you may not like her style, you may not like her tone, but guess what? She's a legit getting stuff done, legit making money, legit being a business person, and getting a lot of other people paid in the process. That's why Forbes is keeping an eye on someone like that. Let's move on to the tease for the morning. We may talk about this one if you just deem this one worthy of talking about, and it goes a little something like this. Jay Leno crashes his Tesla into police car as he heads to performance after horror fire. Now, yesterday in the news early on, I heard a story on the news basically that Jay Leno was performing at a theater coming up later that day. This first time out after the fire, he was going to go out there and perform. And then, of course, this evening, we get the story about Jay Leno actually crashing his car into a police car in the process. Is this worthy of chit chat? You can tell me this one or any other story, and you make it happen by going to our feeds on Facebook and Twitter. Facebook, it's facebook.com/this is a conversation project. And Twitter, it's th_conversation or twitter.com/th_conversation. Go to our feeds, like, love, hate, and share the videos, the headlines, the links that you see. Every 50 minutes, we're posting news stories, and you can tell us what we're talking about. Today, through the rest of the week, this 8 of the top stories of the day. Of course, Monday, we do 10 stories because it's a bigger batch to pull from, but you get all that stuff happening from us. Just go to our feeds and let us know what stories are there. Also, in the feeds, reply back and let us know what you think about things going as well, how we're doing with our timing, how we're doing with our cutting, how we're doing with the story selection, anything you notice that's different or don't notice that's not different, I guess. Tell us those in comments as well. Right now, we've got to do it because we've got to keep things going, and that is our sponsors page. And today's major sponsor is Blinkist. You can go to thisisaconversationproject.com/sponsors and see many of our sponsors there, someone who can take good care of you and take care of us in the process. But today we're highlighting Blinkist. Blinkist is an app that allows you to read much faster. Well, technically it doesn't allow you to read much faster. It lets you read or listen to audiobooks much less wordy. How does it do that? It takes the main points of books and boils them down to what they call blinks. They're detailed headlines that give you a blurb of what the actual point is. A 3-day long novel you can read because it takes 3 days. You can basically listen to it in about 15 minutes because they break them down into the big main points of what's going on there. You have those in your book forms. You also have a shortcast where to take a long podcast and shrink them down. And the good thing about Blinkist is you can share the love, you can share the reading, you can share them in a limited fashion with various people who do not have the Blinkist app. That's trying to get them to buy it, and you can share it with a person who share a shared account. I have a shared account with my wife, and so she can listen to a Blinkist book anytime she wants to. I had a rough time sleeping last night, which is part of all this yammers going on right now. And so as I was kind of up fidgeting around and thinking of something to do, I didn't turn on the TV. I didn't do anything that would do the old blue light thing. I just turned on Blinkist, pulled up a book in my queue, turned it upside down so I didn't see the light, and listened to the book for that one was about 17 minutes in that book. It's a great app to have. I'm able to listen to a book on the way into work every morning and a book at night as I go to bed and in the middle of the night if I need to without bothering anybody with Blinkist. Check it out at thisisaconversationproject.com/Blinkist. This is a conversationproject.com/Blinkist today and get yourself in on this great app. So now excuse me, I wish I had time to edit out the coughs and all the pauses. We want to thank you for stopping by, and I'll remind you once again that our main website is thisisaconversationproject.com. You can find out all you need to know about the background of the Conversation Project by going to the website. Find out some other products we're offering, sponsors and partnerships pages there as well as all the ways you can find us via video, via podcast, via TikTok. You can see us there. Links are there as well. Let's go ahead and get this thing towards the end, wrap it up with today things, starting off with birthdays on November 29, not 299. Told you it was a rough start to the morning. Starting off with Howie Mandel, turning 67 years old today. Jonathan Knight, having the right stuff. And this is purely for my good friend Rhonda, because otherwise we would be talking about Don Cheadle. Jonathan Knight is, believe it or not, 54 years old today. And Anna Faris turning 46 on the day. Believe it or not, she is 46 today. Today, we're shouting out Giving Tuesday, the first Tuesday after Thanksgiving. It's where a lot of charities are going to do a lot of showing of themselves for you given chance to give. Um, People need giving as they roll into the holidays and actually 12 months a year. So some main charities that you may see locally will do a Giving Tuesday blurb. You'll probably see a couple things on your Facebooks and your Twitter feeds. You may want to just go to the main Giving Tuesday website and understand what it's all about and give to them. This is a day to consider giving a little bit more after you've done your Black Friday shopping and your Cyber Monday shopping. There's plenty of deals that go on until Christmas, literally until Christmas because of internet. So considering put a little aside right now to give to a cause that you believe in right now. Let's really wrap this thing up with one more thing you might not have heard, talking about Thanksgiving weekend. And it was about too much food, too much drinking, too much family, and too much shopping in most cases. And when it comes to the food that we gulp down, an incredible number of calories, including an above average amount of sweets. That happens. But according to nutritional scientists, our bodies will finally recover from the food frenzy by December the 1st. So it's going to take you a few days for all that food to process, all the extra sugar, all the extra booze to get out of your system because you've been doing it, from probably early last week to as late as possible in the week. And so that stuff is there. If you have a gym routine, that'll help you out as well. If you got a clean eating routine, get back on that to help flush things out to back to normal. But you should be back to relatively normal by December 1st, just in time for Christmas cookies. That's how that always works. Today is Tuesday, November 29th, 2022. My name is Jay Cleveland Payne. Welcome and thank you. No, welcome to Simon. Thank you for being part of this very shambly edition of things you might have heard. There were some things you might not have heard that are pretty eventful, are pretty interesting. And hopefully my delivery this morning did not ruin that. And hopefully my sort of Candace Bure thing didn't ruin it as well. If you have comments, you have barbs, you have sharp objects to stick at me, feel free to send them to me in the internet way, not in real ways, because then I'll call the cops. In the meantime, thank you for being a member of the family. Follow the feed so you can actually make sure you're voting things up so we know what to talk about tomorrow. Stay hydrated, stay mobile, and stay on task, or sorry, stay limber. Mobile's pretty good as well. Stay on task. We need you around for the grand things you need to do as the holidays are here. If you're feeling kind of sad and lonely, you can always remember there's 988. Text or call 988 on your cell phone for the new suicide prevention hotline, and someone's there to talk to you 24/7, Spanish or English. Let's talk about news stories again tomorrow at hopefully act right at 5:50, not 5:55, and hopefully a lot less. Bleh. So we're going to do this tomorrow, Lord willing.